Proud of my nature. I'm beyond proud of myself. I went from inside a cave to now running far into the forest. I used to see everyone around me as the hunters and not the advocates. I saw the lakes as liquid contaminated with pollution rather than the fresh hydration, hydrating me to have a clear mind. I used to see the butterflies swirling around me as lost, but now I see them with a direction and a purpose. I used to think the crows that I spotted were a sign of bad omens, but I still see it as death, but with a new perspective. They're a sign of death to the past bad habits, the past selfishness, the grudges, the past resentments, the past pain. And I welcome in the new positivity. I see the full moon above, and it's so beautiful, but I took it for granted, thinking that it's an object that's always going to be there. So what's the point of appreciating it? But now that I look into the moon, I can make my wishes to it. And I'm getting all these good responses in many ways. I sometimes see the sky so blue with not a cloud in sight. It makes me have hope again, reminding me as much as I may have problems, I am also a spirit living miles away from these objects constantly turning. And I suddenly remind myself of the world around me, not the buildings, the trash on the ground, the strange people on the street, the discrimination, the injustices, and everything sad and messed up. But rather, I like that above me all these years, there's been all these stars in the sky. And I like to think that I too am one of them shining bright in a crowd of a million others. All right. I'm going to share one more. Hope y'all enjoy it, and then y'all could go back to doing your own thing. Pathways over punishment. I'm hopeful for a world where we learn to understand and not judge. We uplift changing for the better, and not cancel him or her. We stop believing that some people are just lost causes, and we don't look at these harmful mindsets we have. Why is change seen as bad? Why do people see the destruction and not the purpose? We preach one thing and contradict the next. Folks blame Gen Z for lack of empathy, and yet who taught us first? The previous generations who preached crying is a weakness. You're just exaggerating and just forgive and forget. I've seen ex-gang members turn into changed citizens. I've been in spaces where tears have been shed from their gratitude of being given a second chance in life. I've seen what a lack of empathy does to people. It turns them rotten, a waste of oxygen, a waste of potential. And yet I can envision a version of them that could have been helped and could have been preaching words of encouragement. They could have been that rose that grew beyond the concrete and their petals blooming with hope. And suddenly all the other roses around them began growing too, since the first rose that grew gave them the encouragement they needed to bloom open their own petals. And yet people are convinced that punishment is the answer. Thank you very much.
It's really dark in here, so my name is Dimitri, Dunn. I'm also one of the former young leaders from back in the day. Yeah, so shout out to y'all. And I haven't been in one of these in a minute, so it's always nerve-wracking being in front of a lot of people, decision makers. It's great to see y'all. You know, I'm a product of the system. Been there since I was a youngin', so yeah. And I'm gonna do some spoken poetry for you. I'm gonna share something that actually was in a very dark part of my life at the beginning of the pandemic, when everything felt like nobody could be seen or heard, and I just felt like I was stuck. I didn't have the best social worker, who was basically MIA when I aged out, and it was on me to figure out what to do with the rest of my time. Luckily, I found the OAC, then I found myself, and figured it out from there. But I'll share something with you. Cool. This is called I Pray. So, I woke up in a small space, not sure where I am in this dark place. I say, hello, can anybody hear me? Oops. Oop. It's quiet except for the echo around me. My mind falls still as my body starts to quiver. A winter cold flows in and makes my soul shiver. The smell of fear seems to fill the air, and my heart sinks down to the pit of my liver. I look around to see if anybody is there, but I find my own reflection, but something is weird. Who is this person that is there, gazing back at me? There's no way it could be me, because I'm in disbelief. I'm not prideful, but they boast. It's a shame to see that the person that I played is now playing me. As I hang from strings, the puppeteer's now steering me further down than the eyes can see. Oh, I'm sorry for the interruption, but I feel like my head is about to blow, like a combustion. From all of this lusting, from a family I don't have, they left me in the past, to the point where I feel like I'm erupting. Inside my mind is a space like a plague. You get the fever and chills, and while you suffocate, on the outside, people will laugh at you, not knowing about the traumatic hurdles you ran through. I pray. That's basically it. That's all I got for y'all. Yes, sir. Yeah.